right, so we have Joanna here who finished 16 weeks with Weight Loss Warriors. So if you don't mind, go ahead and just tell me what results you saw in the program.
Yeah, so I saw some great results, not just physically, but also a bit more emotionally and mentally. I've had so many other I've had so many nutritionist coaches or nutritionists who were coaches to me, and also fitness trainers in the past, who were always kind of on my back and like, do this, do this. They weren't really much how are you doing, checking up on me. And I think that really made a difference for me, is having those check-ins. But I ended up losing quite a bit of weight. I think the total came up to about 20 pounds. From December. I think it was like mid-January or end of January or something. So compared to what I was in December, to now, to a couple weeks ago when I had my wedding, it was a 20-pound difference. And so that was crazy, because I've never thought that I can get there. So that was like more physically. And then mentally was, I now kind of have an eye of how much, what my portions should be. I'm realizing for my body is not the same as everyone else's. And so snacking might help for a certain amount of people, but some people snacking isn't great. And for me, I was the person where, it was kind of in the middle. So I wasn't supposed to be snacking every single hour like some people do. I was supposed to have a balance. So for example, I had one snack that I would actually eat at 2 different times in the day. And that actually helped with my blood sugar. And it prevented me from feeling absolutely starving at like major meals and things like that. So, but yeah, those are some things that really helped me in the last couple months.
Yeah. You shared your pictures with us not too long ago, and you looked amazing. So your wedding pictures are beautiful. So, because I know that was a goal, you wanted to lose weight before the wedding. How did that feel whenever you got to put on your wedding dress and see your pictures afterwards?
Oh, it was just so surreal. I think the biggest thing for me was, so my husband and I so we got married 2 years ago during COVID. And because we never got to have our wedding ceremony, that's why we were just able to have that in upstate New York this past year, or I should say in May. And so when we did get married, I didn't actually reach my weight goals. I was at a place where I was, I was okay with it, but I wasn't like confident and happy. And so that's why I really wanted to try my best for when he actually sees me in my wedding dress, for me just to feel the best I ever felt. And so to be able to actually put on that dress, no alteration needed. And I bought this dress 2 years ago when I thought I was going to have my wedding ceremony. So I was afraid I wasn't going to fit in it. I was afraid there's going to be all these alterations. And at my final alteration fitting, the lady actually said, I'm actually wondering if I should take it in a bit. And that was like such a surprise. I was like, what? And so, so that was really cool. But when we did get married, I never wore my wedding dress. So that's why the wedding dress was like such a big, huge, I wouldn't say a milestone, but it was something I was really, really looking forward to, for my husband to see me in, just because I've been dreaming about it for so long. And then I just loved how it just fit perfectly. So that was a very surreal feeling.
Yeah. So what do you feel like you really struggled with before our program that we helped you with? Like, what do you feel like maybe was that missing piece that really allowed you to get the success that you wanted?
I think for me, that missing piece was, the meal plans were very helpful. I have had coaches in the past that have given me meal plans, but I haven't had anyone that explained it so thoroughly and who was willing to kind of study my lifestyle and adjust the plans to myself. So for example, I had a nutritionist in last year, September and October. And he was great. He was nice. He was very, he did a weekly call. But that was kind of it. And he would send me my weekly plans And he basically was like, you need to hit these macros every single day. And then he'll ask me how I'm doing. And if I wasn't doing that great, he's like, all right, well, you got to hit them better next week. If you want to see results, blah, 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 you know, you got to do this, you got to do that. But the difference is working with you guys, it made a huge difference because he'd call me if I needed it. He literally said, if you're up at 3 a.m. and you're wanting a midnight snack kind of thing, just text me. If I'm up, I'll answer. He was very supportive. He studied basically like my lifestyle. Like, okay, so you need 3 snacks. You tend to eat 3 snacks. You tend to have 2 meals. You don't normally have breakfast. Okay, how can I adjust the meal plan to your schedule? So it's a less of a hassle. And that made the world of a difference. I can't explain how much of a difference it made for me, because now I can adjust. I don't have to adjust my life for the meals. The meals adjust to my life. And so that's kind of the biggest thing that I would say that I really, really noticed the difference here than I ever did anywhere else.
Yay, that's great. Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you feel like, which you kind of just answered it, but our goal is to allow you to still live your life, and we want to work around you and not the other way around. So you felt like you were able to keep going to work and being a wife and doing all that and still see results. Like you didn't feel super restrictive. I know you had to plan and like the work, but you felt like you could still live your life and still get
right.
Time, right?
Yeah, I did feel like I could still live my life. I felt like I think the hardest parts or the hardest time with the meal planning or with the program was as we neared the wedding, because that was an actual like that was a date that was coming up. A lot of the people that want to do these do something with a coach to lose weight and to get healthy and understand fitness better, a lot of them actually just want to do it for overall health. They don't necessarily have a goal that they're trying to or not a goal weight, but they don't have an event, I should say. For me, I had an event that I was working towards. So the first couple of months were just kind of like smooth sailing. And it wasn't until the last month, up until a couple of weeks before the wedding, that it got hard. And I was like, oh, this is hard. But he had to be a little bit more strict, because at that point, I needed to adjust my schedule and my life, because this was something that I really wanted. But if I wasn't worried about the wedding, if that wasn't anything that was on my radar, I probably would have just had an easy pace and eventually hit those goals over the next probably another month or two, rather than hitting the goals a little quicker, which was great. But again, it was for an event that I was really wanting to hit those numbers sooner.
So for someone who's sitting on the fence, because some people are trying to decide like, okay, should I go through with this program or should I not? So for someone who's sitting on the fence trying to make that choice, do you recommend our program to those?
For people who aren't sure if they want to do it or not?
Yeah, people who are just kind of about it, but they're nervous and they don't know.
Honestly, if I'm going to be totally honest, the number one reason why I never wanted to do a major, and the thing is like, it's like weight loss, but that's not all that you guys are about. You're about like educating each client for them to be able to go out on their own. You don't intend to keep your clients forever. And that's what I like. A lot of people are like, as long as you're with me, then you'll be, doing really well. But what you guys did is like, you kind of train your clients and then let them go. And I feel it's kind of like a school, I guess. And I feel like it's just an investment. The hardest thing for me with any sort of health thing that I ever did was it would be the financial thing. So I really, really struggled with the finance part. But the reason I think I stuck with you guys is because you were willing to prolong the finances for however months that I needed. So I didn't have to pay X amount of dollars right at once, or in the first 2 months. I can be done the program and still be paying it off in the next 3-4 months. And I think I'm actually still paying it off, which is fine, because it helps me. And so I think that's really smart on your guys' end, because I think a lot of people don't want to do things like this, because it's like, all right, give us $3,000 for 6 months. And everyone's like, where am I going to get $3,000?
Right. Yeah. Most people don't have that just lying around. I mean,
Right. So
like
yeah, I would definitely recommend. Yeah.
okay, great. Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience, and you look amazing. And I think you did an awesome job.